and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. My name is Jocelyn, and today I have got a video talking about one of my favorite makeup items, eyeshadow palettes. So this is another palette tag created originally by Baute. I might be just butchering that name completely, but I will link her channel down below. So it was originally created by her. I stumbled across the recreation of this video by Elle S and thought I would give it a try myself. There are a total of 9 questions, so let me get into them. The first question is your first palette. So I'm sure that I had, like, you know, drugstore Claire's or Icings, like those cheap palettes. So the first one I'm gonna count is my first high-end palette, the first one that I truly remember. And for me, it is the Naked 2 palette. I was actually gifted this palette for Christmas by Alex's parents, and it has definitely got some wear and tear. I truly love this palette. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, it's still one of my favorites, and it holds a special place in my heart as one of my very first high-end palettes. The next question is my most recent purchase, and if you watched my VIB sale haul video, you'll know what this is. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. This is my most recent eyeshadow palette purchase. This is what the inside looks like. Truly stunning colors, lots of different formulas, and just beautiful, and it's got this giant mirror in here, so very, very excited about this one. Question number 3 is a palette that I regret missing out on, and I know I've talked about this before, but it is the Mi Vida Loca palette by Kat Von D. That came out around the time that I was really starting to get into makeup, and I just at the time didn't think I needed it, but now looking back and watching people use this palette, I truly miss not getting it, and I really wish that I had it in my collection, but alas, I don't. If she ever re-releases that palette, I will definitely be picking it up. Question number 4 is a palette that makes me happy to look at, and this might be surprising, but for me it is the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. So as I mentioned before, the Naked 2 was my first high-end palette, but it was gifted to me. This is the first palette that I ever purchased myself, or high-end palette that I purchased myself. It was kind of an impromptu purchase at Ulta. I was there with a friend, and this one also has been used and abused. I've got some pan, I've got quite a few dents in a lot of these shadows, and it's just a really staple palette in my collection. It's beautiful, it's easy to use, it blends really well, and I love having it. I love the packaging, and it makes me happy. Number 5, a palette that I've changed my mind about. Now this one is kind of hard to talk about and makes me sad, but for me, this is the Narsissist Loaded palette, and I've changed my mind, and not in a good way. So I actually did a tutorial with this palette, and I was so excited to get it. I went back and forth quite a bit about whether or not I was going to purchase it, and then ended up just purchasing it. This is what the inside looks like. It looks pretty standard, nothing to write home about, but I never reach for it. I never reach for it, and it's just, and even looking at it, it's kind of like, oh, boring, which is so unfortunate because it was so expensive. I mean, maybe I could sell it somewhere because it's lightly used, but nothing extreme, and it's just, it's got a really good mirror, but also NARS is no longer cruelty free. I bought this right before they changed statuses, so that's unfortunate, and I liked it the first couple times I tried it, but I just never reached for it again because it's boring, and it's just not that exciting, not that great, so sad day. Question number 6 is a palette that surprised me, and for me, it was the Master palette by Mario. Now, when you first look at this palette, it just, it looks pretty, it looks good, but nothing to write home about. Maybe you have a different perception, but that was my perception. But every time I use this, and every time I really open it and really look into it, I get excited, and every look that I create out of this is just easy to blend, easy to use. This palette is just This palette is just effortless to use, and I really love this. If something like this ever comes out again, I know that she's had some palettes recently, none of them have been exciting to me, and none of them have spoken my name, but this one has definitely a big thumbs up for me. Question number 7 is, what is a palette that inspires you? And for me, it's this bad boy right here. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I taped my little indicator thing here, but this, of course, is what the palette looks like. I'm sure you've probably seen it before, but there's just so much in here, and the shades and the shadows just blend so well, looks so good on the eyes. There's pops of color in here. Some of these just get me so excited and get my creative juices flowing. I love so many of these shades in here especially the ones up in this corner and these shimmers down here, and of course the colors. I look at this and I want to play, which I think was part of her intention. So this one truly inspires me to just kind of get out of my creative or my comfort zone. Question number 8, what is a palette on your wish list? For me right now, it is the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette, now sold at Sephora. I almost picked it up during the VIB sale, but I got the Huda Beauty palette and that was expensive. So I pushed away the Violet Voss palette. I am hoping to pick that up eventually. I'm not sure when that's gonna be. I wish I could see it in stores. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think that Violet Voss is in Sephora stores yet. Maybe it will be, which would be cool. Then I could swatch it and really see it in person and then maybe just instantly fall in love. We will see. The last question, question number 9, is your no fail palette. And I kind of went back and forth. There were some of the palettes here mentioned already that I would classify as no fail palettes, but the one that really just called out was the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm sure you all are familiar with what this looks like on the inside, but every color combination, every look that I do with this palette just always is just perfect, and I love these tones. They just work so well on my eye color and my skin tone. It's a no fail palette for me. All right, so that is the end of this another palette tag. If you want to answer these questions down below in the comments, I would love to hear what you have to say. I would love to hear some of your favorite palettes, or maybe not favorite palettes, or wish list palettes, and all palettes. Can I say that word anymore in this video? Probably not. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe below and all of that jazz. And that's all I got for you today. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.